And we're live. Hello.
Yay.
We have a special guest, Auntie Lena, with us tonight.
It's so cool to be here. Thank you.
We have a special guest.
Oh, somebody's not muted.
It's so cool to be here. Thank you.
Somebody got their thing not muted.
Not me.
Oh, I've got a radical echo.
It's like it's
Thing not muted.
not me.
That's weird. It keeps looping. I'm going to go out and in.
It's because somebody's got a tab open with the video playing.
Yeah, not me. I'm only in
That'd be
StreamYard.
me.
It's
That's me. That
there
was
it goes.
me.
There it goes.
I knew that.
Entertainment. So, do we have any special announcements before we get into the pettiness?
Well, announce your
Yeah,
Friday night thing.
I have a bit of an announcement. So, with the new tarot deck and book coming out from me and Sienna, I just got off the phone from the New York publishers, and we thought what we'll do is have a couple of sessions, probably in September, with as many people as want to be on it, and we'll give away 5 or 6 sets, the book and the cards. So that'll be fun.
You have any details where you'll be or who will be streaming and all that?
No, this was 1 minute ago.
Yeah. Okay. Details to come.
But we'll let you know. Yeah. So what's been happening? Oh my God.
I don't know. Any announcements, Johnny?
Mm-mm.
No, he's gonna be quiet over there.
Mhm.
None.
None whatsoever.
None. Any announcements, Jenny?
Tell them about Friday night.
Oh
Okay,
yeah.
Friday night, we are hosting a fundraiser for Planned Parenthood. Just as to the SCOTUS. So we are going to host that. It'll be Jenny, Johnie, Lena, Lori, Ona, Adrian, and did I say Tony already? And Tony from Red Lentil Healing. So we'll be on my channel, 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And we are doing...
And 9 a.m. Australian time the next day, if there's any Aussies out there watching.
We are doing a giveaway with this shirt. There's 2 of these. It's like
Oh,
the
it's subtle,
patriarchy
very subtle, dear.
in pink. So in case you're doing a march or anything, you have your pink shirt. I only have 2 of them. So if you find this offensive, I ask you in advance, please do not join the giveaway on Friday. Ona's Tarot, that's who's going to be joining us. And Lena and Adrian and Tony and Lori. Am I forgetting anybody else? These 2 over here. Wait, over there.
It'll be great.
So yeah. Johnny's going to help me set up the fundraiser in the after show. So the fundraiser will be there up until Friday, and then past Friday, it'll just stay up there. So if anybody wants to donate to Planned Parenthood, thank you so very much. Anything else?
We have got an Aussie watching, Rondell. Oh,
Hi, Rondell.
Oi, oi, oi.
We may have some special guests. Lucy and I have put in our adoption paperwork to see if we get approved. So if we get approved, we might have some special guests for our expanding family.
Oh, really?
I saw pictures of the babies today. Jenny sent them, and I was like, "Oh my God, get them all! Get them all!"
There's like 20 kittens in there, and I'm like, I want them all. The only other announcement I would like to make is about Cappy's mom, who was one of the first moderators that I had, and someone I've done personal readings with. such a sweetheart. She passed away last Monday from cancer, and I've been posting links. They're streaming her memorial service tomorrow on YouTube. And then I also posted a link to the information about her because it starts at 10 Eastern. She was in Maryland, I believe. So it starts at 10 Eastern time. So do your time checks from there. The actual service is at 12. So there's like something beforehand, I think, and then the service. But she will be missed. I know she watched us a lot. She loved the Petty Boots Club and watched us a lot, even from her hospital bed.
Oh, bless.
And I just want to, I lit a candle for her on Monday when I heard about her passing, but I just wanted to take a minute and light a candle for Cappy's mom. So Archangel Raphael, Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Ariel, we surrender to your mercy, compassion, and healing. We thank you for easing Cappy's mom, Denise Richardson. We thank you for easing her transition to the other side. We thank you for blessing our lives with her presence. May she find peace and comfort, and may her family find peace and comfort. And I'm going to put this over on the side so Lucy doesn't jump up on it.
Yeah.
Last thing we need is a kitty on fire.
Lead fur.
Mm-mm.
And that smell of singed fur. No.
So Cappy's mom, wherever you are, remember, God ain't petty, but I am. So come to this anytime you want, Cappy's mom.
It's a great show.
He has ascended, but I'm pretty sure there's a little petty still left in there. So
She ascended in her petty boots.
She's showing up to the pearly gates in style, baby. That's what I'm saying. So is that all for the announcements? Yeah. Oh, I wanted to say I'm in StreamYard, so I'm not seeing the my comments are all jacked up. But if Joanne Moyer is in the chat, I wanted to say thank you so very much. She just sent a frother from my Amazon wish list, and I made a copy of it. So thank you. Thank you so very much.
I'd just like to make a comment because the same comments keep coming up over and over on our videos when we do our live streams, that they don't see the live chat when they go in to watch our live stream if they missed us live. When we do a live stream, especially a 2-hour one, it can take up to 8 hours sometimes for the live chat to show up. It has to load with the video. So a lot of times if you come in after we've ended, you won't see the live chat right away. So you can come back.
There's a delay.
There's a delay in the live chat uploading. I just wanted to clarify that for everybody.
Mm-hmm. And also one last thing. We take our questions from the community pages on Saturdays. We post them on Saturdays, and then we'll get the questions on Sunday for the show. So anybody that's asking questions in the chat, we won't get to them because we have the questions from Saturday. Also, I will not be reading on Ivana Trump. Please refrain from asking about her or her passing. I don't want to touch that. Just not here. Not here. Thank you.
Thank you, Larry, for the super chat.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Larry.
So with that said, I got a question since can we start off petty?
Yes. Sure. And then go downhill from there.
I know, right? Get your roller skates on, your petty roller skates. So the other day there was a House, some sort of committee hearing. It wasn't the 1-6 committee. It was a different committee. And Representative Eric Swalwell was questioning this anti-abortion activist, and they also had an OBGYN doctor in the hearing. And he brought up the question about the news that had recently broke about the 10-year-old girl who was raped. They have since apprehended the suspect. She had to go from Ohio to, was it Indiana?
Indiana.
To seek services because Ohio, it's absolutely illegal. No clauses for rape or incest, nothing, just no abortions, period. And the young girl had to be taken by her family across state lines to get an abortion. And the line of questioning that he gave this anti-abortion activist were simple questions. But her response was, this woman was twisting herself into a pretzel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you see that, Lena? How it's not an abortion. In that case, it's not an abortion. And there might be laws that and he's just going back to her like, your state has, you know, banned abortions even for rape victims, incest victims, all of it, you know, and she was twisting herself up. And then he asked the OBGYN doctor, he's like, are you aware of misinformation? And the doctor was like, yeah. And he's like, is this misinformation? And the doctor was like, yes. And the doctor had to explain, regardless if the girl is 10 years old or she's 45 years old, the procedure is still an abortion. You know what I mean? It's not like we call it something else when it's a child, and then it's an abortion when it's a grown woman.
Yeah, when you're over 16. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would like to know, there's so many questions I have about that, and I'm not sure where I want to start. I guess my first question is, do these people really believe the nonsense she was spewing? Like, it's not an abortion if you're a minor or a child. Like, do they really believe it, or?
Yeah.
For entertainment purposes only, YouTube. And thank you, Hope, and thank you, Jody, and thank you, Coltos.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And thanks for the moderator. Do they believe it?
She didn't even know what an ectopic pregnancy was. It was just horrible.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
I just read one on that was all over Twitter today. I forget what state it was, where a woman had a miscarriage and she bled for 10 days. For 10 days, and the doctors couldn't do anything to get rid of the rest of the miscarriage. And then she ended up getting put on a breathalyzer, you know, the things to help incubator and stuff, because she almost died.
Yeah.
It's insane what they're doing.
It is insane.
Thank you, Letitia.
Look, shall I start?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yeah. This is what in Australia we call a yeah but no but question. Because it's not even a question of do they believe this, you know, misinformation or not. They are so righteous, right? The flame here. This whole question is going to be a problem for Republicans. See, they're balancing delicately on this. This is a nightmare. It could be, this is the Wheel of Fortune. It needed to come out. It needs to be exposed that this is their fundamental and fundamentalist position. And whether they know or they don't know, they don't care. This is the Knight of Swords. This is the problem. So even if you sat them down one by one, you know, with an obgyn doctor or something, they can't take it in because it hits up against their radical, senseless belief system. So that's what I got. They can't hear facts.
That's insane.
I get the same thing. It's like pregnancy, even with children, it's an opportunity for Republicans to show their corruptness and everything. So they
and their
yes, they believe it. Yes, there's an imbalance there, slanted against women. So yes.
Yeah, these stories, I think the advantage of these stories emerging is it helps the middle, it helps the independent voters come to a decision. But these hardliners. No.
But even some, I forgot what the polling was, but even a majority of Republicans are against that ruling from the Supreme Court.
Yeah. There's a surprising naivete with them too. They're ignorant.
Yep.
I get yes and no.
There you go.
Some are the patriarchy. You know, the man trying to show strength, and again, he can't get pregnant, so this isn't really an issue for him. But again, there's your patriarchy. Cue the flashcard. Thank you very much.
Just in case. Thank you, Impish.
And then no, it's a scheme to ward off public judgment. There is to this. Now, this is not in the cards. This is commentary at this point. The 10-year-old girl, it is hard to say, well, what was and let it be, because then public opinion is even harsher than it is for Roe v. Wade, because a 10-year-old child, mind you, pro-life, 10-year-old child was victimized and her future was permanently scarred. So it's now hard to say, well, you know, it is what it is. She's just on her own now. So now you have to come up with a creative way for the base to say it's okay in this case without it being okay in everybody else's case. So there's some scheme, 7 of Swords, to get rid of public judgment there. So the patriarchy, I believe it, not really. It's more of a, I can use this against you. But as far as public opinion, it's just meant to not look like demons because a 10-year-old child's at the stake.
So what you're saying is that they're just cherry picking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, here's my thing. It doesn't matter how you slice it. In my opinion, in my view, it's state-sanctioned violence against women and young girls, in my view.
Because like, she's a child, but a grown person, they're on their own. So it's kind of hard to say that when it comes to a 10-year-old. It's hard to say that in plain words like you just did. They have to come up with the political spin to make it sound like it was something else other than abortion.
It supports the rape culture just like Putin does in Russia.
I'm surprised, though, they didn't have a word for it already. Because you don't spin control, you have to control the narrative.
Yeah.
It's probably because they don't have a think tank yet to figure out how they're going to justify letting children get raped. And mind you, she was a 10-year-old girl. She probably would have died trying to give birth to that child.
Yeah.
You know, so I get it's chronic gaslighting and problems for pregnancies. No, I get that they don't believe their own bullshit at all.
No, that's interesting.
It's a form of abuse. So, like I said, state-sanctioned violence against women. So here's my next question. When that happened, now you have all of these GOP lawmakers that are threatening to prosecute women who cross state lines to get abortions, or in some cases, children that have to cross state lines to get abortions. I think it's pretty clear that this is seriously going to hurt them in the midterms across the board. I just want to know if there's going to be, I don't even know how to word it, because retribution is the wrong word to use, but like, will there be any
kickback
towards these elected officials and their just repulsive laws? Because I mean, now you're saying we're going to throw you in jail for being pregnant, which, unless this is I'm sorry to keep running my mouth, but in a way, because we all know GOP loves to suppress the vote, in a way, this is a way to repress the female vote too. Well, because now you can't vote because we threw your ass in jail for getting an abortion. You see what I'm saying? And then you can't vote when you get out because you're a felon because you had an abortion. Do you see what I'm saying? So
yeah. So will there be any? Let me just say, the rest of the world is horrified.
Did you see what Britain did?
Horrified.
Yeah. It's barbaric. And then I forget. I think it was Johnie that told me. Was it Johnie that there was a state, or was it Adrian, that there was a state where if a rapist assaults a woman, then they can turn around and sue the woman for getting an abortion? How insane is that?
Yeah.
Like I said,
they can sue for custody,
violence against women. It is state-sanctioned violence against women. Period.
Absolutely.
Nonstop. Like,
They could sue for custody rights or force them to have visitation rights. Can you imagine you were raped by somebody and get forced to have to see them all the time for visitation?
Yeah, I think Texas was talking about it. I think that's not it. But I could be wrong. So do the viewers know? Is there any more to that story? Yeah.
That is insanity.
And it's a stalker's paradise. You know, it's...
I mean, you're just basically saying it's totally cool to sexually assault women because you're not going to get held responsible. If anything, we're going to punish the woman. You know,
absolutely.
Like I said.
We're back in the dark ages. It's unbelievable.
Like I said, state-sanctioned violence against women.
And what's really funny is, most churches were okay with abortion until the 60s when they started the movement. So all these right-winger, fundamentalists that are like, God says and blah, 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 blah.
Actually,
no, your church was actually okay with abortion until the 1960s when they used it as a political mechanism to go after.
A political mechanism against the civil rights movement and desegregation. According to the reporting from Rachel Maddow, that it was a Catholic opinion until the civil rights movement and the desegregation came on board, and then the evangelicals jumped on the anti-abortion train to gain political power. So it's insane.
It's crazy stuff. In Australia, with Catholic families in the 50s and 60s, you couldn't get an abortion regardless of your religion. But so I know what it's like when you can't, and you see these women going off in the dead of night and getting on trains to another state and all of that. So I've seen it all. But with the Catholic families, the deal was a woman could have a hysterectomy only if she'd already had 5 children. So there were all these huge Catholic families. And then when that directive came in, suddenly every family had 5 kids. And the mother's only choice, because you had no contraception, was to have a full hysterectomy.
And here's another thing, Lena. There are some states that have taken even a miscarriage to the extreme, where it's, you had a miscarriage, now we're going to send you to the doctor to make sure you didn't cause your own miscarriage, because then we're throwing you in jail.
Yeah.
I mean, it is awful.
Invasion of privacy. Yeah. I get on both sides of the aisle. Like this there's a, the moon card is very feminine energy for me. And there's this mysterious and surprising backlash to this. It will be a tower moment for our country to try to get to calmer waters here. So some of the legislation will get killed. I get there's going to be a lot of women secretly voting, shifting their votes. But I get there's a lot of strong support through the courts also to bring about some backlash to this too. So a lot of their things may not hold up in courts down the road. But yeah, there'll be backlash. There already is.
Yeah.
Yes, there's also something here coming from doctors, and especially family doctors. I don't know if we're going to have more of the 10-year-old type story to where family doctors are now going to be advocates for the family to seek other kinds of care. There is also like a scheme being cooked up like behind enemy lines, as it were, with the 7 of Swords, Page of Wands, Knight of Wands. Like there's somebody about to whistleblow is kind of a strong word, but for the sake of argument, whistleblow on their talking points. And so this is going to be exposed as talking points and not necessarily fundamental belief. Because it's fine if you fundamentally believe you shouldn't have one, bring the baby, it's a blessing, that whole type of thing. It's a whole nother thing when you're trying to basically make it criminal to be a woman. And so there are some sort of talking points here that is going to be exposed. There is some initial defeat, though. when it comes to politics. So it's kind of like it's hard to make this damaging enough because you need people from both sides to destroy credibility of that argument. In particular case, it will happen. It's just not happening fast enough. The Three of Wands, it is approaching, but again, this is something towards the future that the argument will get weaker and weaker and weaker. However, I say every Democrat, every independent needs to make sure that this is front and center, and make sure also the obstruction of Biden's plans and all that type of stuff, make sure all that is front and center, and spin control, again, victimizing women, making it criminal to be a woman. That needs to be your talking points going forward, but they ain't got nothing to do with this reading. I just wanted to throw that in there. There you go.
I got the solution, Johnie. I got the solution right
I just
here.
found a picture with a lady who said, if you want to cut off my reproductive choice, can I cut off yours? And it had scissors on it. I took a picture.
Yeah. If you think about it, one woman out of the entire year, 365 days, one woman can only carry one child to term in a year. One man can technically impregnate 365 women. So where's the problem? Is it the woman or is it the man?
Yeah.
You know, what's interesting too is only 47% of Americans belong to a church, synagogue, or mosque. And that's down from 50% in 2018. It was at 70% in 1999. So it shows you how few people are in that fundamental right side, you know, so they're not letting majority rule anymore.
And also you'd find outside of the hardcore evangelicals, the Jewish community and some of the others, even more progressive Catholics, are not fond of this. So that number's actually really low, you know. Well, I used my oracles to kick off women being prisoners in despair, right here. There is confusion, Seven of Cups, there is confusion around this issue for some people. Obviously, for both camps, it's crystal clear, but there's a lot in the middle who may be anti-abortion but think mother's health should be prioritized, etc., right? I got the moon too, like Jenn, Lynn. This is in its, you know, representing the feminine stuff. But this is going to have momentum going forward with these eight of Wands. Is it going to impact? I think so. There's an ace here on fire. I think it is going to fire up people as an issue. It might not be their priority one issue, but it will be one of the main issues for sure there. Yeah.
I get a yes. I'm with Johnie on this one. There's something that they're saying here that's being spun and manipulated. And then there's your marketing right here. So they're spinning stuff for marketing purposes, for their career, their reputations, how they're seen, their honor, their fame. Do you see what I'm saying? So I'm with Johnie on yes, when there's something that comes out about how these people are just jumping on the bandwagon because it's good for their careers, not because they believe it, but because it's good for their careers, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
It's disgusting, but
and the sickening thing is that so many of these, if they've got money, will have access to clinical safe terminations anyway. And then go and vote.
How many? I'm curious to know how many of these senators, whether at the state level or all the way up in the federal level, that are anti-abortion, have knocked up a few women
and paid for abortions.
And paid for abortions, their mistresses, so the wife doesn't find out. Because it's happened before Trump came into office. There was one guy, I forget what state he was in, that was anti-abortion, and then it came out that he paid for his mistress to go have an abortion, and at least he had the decency to resign. But that's just one. There's plenty. you know?
That's just one.
So, okay, on to more ridiculous stuff. So the Supreme Court ruled that public funding can go to pay for religious schools. So separation in church and state, bye-bye. So, yeah. So, along with mandatory prayers in schools in some states. So my question is, will churches be taxed? Because I mean, if you're already blowing the line,
what was the last bit?
Will churches be taxed? Because if they're going to use our public funds, yeah, if you're using our public funds to fund, what if I don't believe in Christianity? What if I'm a Satanist or Jewish or Muslim or Hindu? You know, like, why are you using my public funds to pay for religious schools? That's just. Mm-mm.
I have a follow-up question too.
Okay.
We could roll them together.
No, not this.
Okay. Fair enough.
Thank you, Margaret.
Will churches be taxed?
Ooh, interesting.
Sorry, I got these, and someone sent me these, and it didn't have a it didn't have a note, but I got sparkly horns now. So
how cool is that?
Look like pincers.
I know, right?
I got the law on the bottom, the court systems and everything, and I get the messaging that's, you know, so corrupted through the churches here. I'm getting in like 2 years, maybe, the government will come to an agreement to tax them, to do a law, put something forward to tax them. So it's going to get argued like crazy, you know, through the court systems, but I get victory on it. Tax them.
I mean, if they're going to sit there and use their bully pulpit and raise money to fund campaigns and stuff like that, freaking pay your taxes, just like the rest of us, you know?
Great.
The same. What'd you get, Lena?
Yeah. Well, I love this deck. The finger's on fire, right? You know, this is a hot issue. Okay. I've got the 10 of Cups. It's an emotional issue for people as well as a political issue. There's judgment here. But this has been the case everywhere, right? Churches don't get taxed in Australia, in the UK, and so it's a global issue. So whether that's radical mosques or radical evangelical, anything, it's a problem because they can always hide behind those religious gates. But it will be discussed, and I wouldn't rule it out. Some people are pushing it as an issue that's really important. So like Jenn, I could say, maybe with the wake-up calls in the next 2 to 5 years with people generally, this will become a more mainstream thing as people fall away from the church, right? People are defensive if you're part of a church not wanting to see it taxed. But if you're not part of a church, why not tax? You know, you see what I mean? So as more people fall into that group, I think it can be up for discussion. You know. But the problem we have... Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry, Lena. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
I'll just finish that. It's not just church schools. In Australia, the government spends more money per child on private education, private schools, than it does on the public schools. And that's because all the politicians' kids go to private schools. You know, so this is a two-level issue as far as I'm concerned as an educator. It's the out-and-out religious, but it's also the private schools being cashed up while the public schools are being starved.
The Republicans here are pushing the charter schools, you know, Betsy DeVos and all that, because they want to control what children are taught. And that's one way they can do it, through the charter schools. So Tax
And
them
they
all.
can press their flat earth philosophies, the end of science. It's really terrible.
I didn't get anything on that. It told me about the schools, that there's going to be more of those type of things popping up. Because I drew 5 cards and all of them are people except the magician. And it's something that's going to be created. So I'm going to go, it's just going to make more schools. I didn't get a yes or no on the taxing of the church though.
I'd like to, just before you go in there, Becca, Beth Cap points out there are some churches, many of them smaller churches, that are helping communities with food, clothing, transportation and stuff. And that's a really important point, and that's their role. But I'd just like to say, when, at least for me, when I'm thinking of taxing churches, it's the bigger churches. If you bring in income of more than $1 million a year, say, for argument's sake, then yes. If you're struggling to pay the electricity bill in a church community centre, no. We're not
See,
talking
and I 100% agree with a Gemini mind. I have to, I guess, go to the other side.
Yeah.
I agree with what you're saying. I agree with what Beth Cat is saying too. At the same time, if you can't afford it, don't open a church. And you don't get a gold medal from me because I'm cynical that way. You don't get a gold medal for helping the community. That's what you're supposed to do. You're a church. If you are a Girl Scout, then you're supposed to be selling cookies if you've got the cookie stand. I don't want to walk up and you got lasagna and meat sauce. So it's you don't get the gold medal for being a church helping the community. That's what you're supposed to do. And if you don't want to pay taxes, don't open something that needs to pay taxes. What you can do, though, is gather in a park or gather in a public space somewhere, or go in somebody's garage like they used to do in your living room with your 4 or 5 members, and then expand when you can afford it. That's how you start church. A storefront is what we used to call it. So
Prayer group.
start small. You don't have to be Creflo Dollar overnight. Like, you can start small and then afford your church.
And
But you still need to be
I'm no theological scholar, but didn't Jesus kind of rail against churches and kind of sort of said, it's in your heart, not in a building, or something along those lines?
That's the whole thing. And when my mind goes over, taxing of churches, I'm thinking of these huge
Joel Osteen.
Like the
complexes that I find obscene. Whereas if they're local and helping the homeless and feeding the homeless or whatever, as Johnie says, they shouldn't get a medal for that. But I also don't think they should be taxed if the revenue's going in and going out on people. I don't think they should be taxed on that thing. But, there's no reason not to have a $1 million thing or something above that. This prosperity gospel crap,
Yeah. Matthew 6, verse 5, Jesus said, pray in your closet, not on the street corners. It's about your personal connection to the divine and to God. It is not about proselytizing on the street corners or in buildings. It's do it at home in your closet.
Or grifting your parishioners so you can buy yourself a jet. And then when your pilot crashes the jet, say, it was because Jesus wasn't happy and he wanted me to have a bigger jet.
I know, it's a good one, isn't it?
I get eventually there might be some sort of resolution or some sort of an agreement. This right here and this would be more like televised sort of congregations, but it's like when that dies or ends, there's some sort of a solution. So maybe it has to do more with like these televangelists, the ones that are on TV or stuff like that. Scientology is another big one. And those people actually harass their members. Like, what's that girl's name, Johnie? Leah Remini has been blowing the whistle on the Church of Scientology for years now on their abusive practices, all sorts of shady shit. So maybe
Howard knew that when he founded Scientology, he could have just called it Scientology. He put the church of expressly so he wouldn't be taxed.
Yeah, but the practices on how they her shows have been really interesting, like how they harass people, they stalk you. They go out to ruin your lives, your careers, everything.
Cut you off from your family.
I mean, how that's legal, I don't even know. Johnie, you had a follow-up question.
It's quite petty.
Let's go there.
Being a heathen myself, and
A proud pagan here. Yeah.
yes, I do want to know if, okay, since you can open a religious school with public money, is someone going to open a school for pagans or devil worshippers? Not that they're the same. I'm not equating the two, but something non-traditional as far as Christianity goes. Because I'm pretty sure that what they are envisioning are Christian schools.
Oh, absolutely.
Are they going to, is somebody out there with the petty bone going to open a school for Satan worshippers or for us pagans?
If I had unlimited funds, I would open up a devil worshiping church. Not because I believe in the devil or want to worship him, just as a big old fuck you to these Christian
That's right.
assholes that want to.
But you can do it with public money now.
No, I would fund it with my own.
Thank you, Share Bear. Let's open a school for the worship of cats.
Yeah, exactly.
Way back.
So, what was the question, Johnie? Is someone going to open up a non-traditional church?
The non-traditional school, like non-Christian school. No, I don't want to say that because it could be Catholic or Muslim or something. A school for pagans. Let's leave it pagan instead of devil worshiper. Because if you open something for pagans, somebody's going to go all the way too far and be, you know, the Church of Satan or something.
We'll go back to 1692 during the Salem witch trials, man. I'm telling you.
Because if you can open that with public money, who's to say my religion doesn't count?
Yeah, because now it's not freedom of religion because it's not Christian.
Yeah.
Your Christian religion is based upon my
It's code for Christian.
Yeah.
And it's code for Anglo-Christians.
Yeah, we
Not Muslims.
I mean, behind you, Christmas is pagan. Easter is all of your holidays come from us.
Yeah,
we were
totally.
first.
And this is the problem. They know so little about their own faith and the teachings, good, bad, made up, invented, taken over. That lack of curiosity, just what their reverend tells them. I mean, how do they miss the charity buzz? How do you miss the whole thing about Jesus and charity?
I get they're already working.
Yeah, I got to swear.
I get they're already working on it. That somebody's already charging in with judgment on the Christian right. They're gonna have to protect themselves from this because somebody is already doing it in a small way.
Yeah.
And give it a little time. It's going to grow. It's going to get a lot of attention, and then these fundamentalists are trapped, and they're going to have to walk away from all this, and they're going to start having to research and redo some work on how they're going to structure these laws because,
Lena.
Yeah.
Last week in the after show, Jenny showed us a video of this preacher. What state was he in, Jenny? Was it Texas?
He was in Texas, in Plano, Texas, Dallas area.
The shit that man was spewing, Lena, was insanity. I mean, disgusting, vile about women, about gays, about mostly women that, women shouldn't have rights. We should be in the kitchen taking care of our husbands. We shouldn't be allowed to vote because we are to be subservient to the men. And that, I mean,
that's the next thing on their agenda. Yeah.
He's appalled at the women that run for positions in either party.
Yeah.
Women shouldn't work. Meanwhile, he's a pastor. That's his job. And he's got a PayPal link where you can send him money to support his family. It's like, you don't have enough money to support your family, but women can't work. Okay.
Yeah.
Proof that the bullshit he's spewing doesn't work. Yeah, sorry.
I think we should start the Church of Tarot Readers, and then we could all stop paying tax.
Yes.
John Oliver showed us how easy it is to start a church. All you got to do is meet once a month, not even once a week, once a month, and have
we more than qualifies.
Every Sunday night.
We're having our Sunday meeting as we speak.
And you have to meet once a month, and then you have to have at least 2 members, I think it is.
Well, there you go.
We got 4, and everybody else in the chat, so we qualify. We qualify.
It could be a church.
And I would actually use my money to help the community and help women and help the homeless and veterans and everybody else, unlike these bastards. Sorry, Lena, go ahead.
No, I was just nodding, with the reading itself, yes, people will do it. And there'll be some who are serious about it, and they mean what they say to themselves and all that. And others that will be there just to challenge it. And that'll lead to change, not immediately, but in terms of the evangelicals will go berserk when these things happen, because they don't want anyone else to share the pie of America anyway. They don't want to share America, right, in any way, shape, or form. It's their way or the highway.
Yeah, it's not. Never mind. I'll leave that alone because
Are you getting busy?
Now
no, because I don't want to continue to be. You know what? Because this country was not founded by Christians. It was founded by rapist slave owners. So you can't help but have that ingrained in the bloodline of your country, even though your country was built on top of somebody else's country that was already here. But that's neither here nor there. What I get is the Five of Wands and the Five of Swords and the Emperor. Someone here is, well, for the, I mean, I need a new word. Troll is a bad word. But someone's kind of trolling a little bit. And I feel like this person's well known too. Not celebrity like movie star, but they have a household name. You would know them or at least recognize them. I've heard of them before. They are going to try to do this just to show you how it looks from the other side, or how, like, okay, there's a man in, I think it was Tennessee, one of them southern states, Alabama, Tennessee, where they put forth an amendment where marriage was between a man and a woman. This is what they were trying to do. That's what he wanted. But it did not list an age. And so the Democrat was like, so if a person is 14 and 39, I'm just paraphrasing that, he said they can get married. He said, no, he assumed people would understand that it was for legal adults. That's not what you put in writing, though. You said between man and a woman, or between male and female. That's the way. That's why he was poking holes at it. And so here is like somebody is doing the same thing. He's got money, whoever this person is, and he's trying to throw a wrench in your wording and saying a school can be funded with public money and it's religious based. So I'm going to start a religion of blah, blah, blah. And here's the school for it. Give me some money.
Australia's already doing that.
Thank you, Marie. Her Sunday time.
And Tim says in the comments, the Grove of the Enlightened, we could call ourselves.
The Grove of the Enlightened.
Australia has a lot of religious schools. There's a lot of private Jewish schools, Muslim schools.
But are they funded by the public, though? Are they funded by the public, though?
Well, they're partially funded by the public, yes.
And see, if it's private, it should be.
Case for a long while.
In my view is my belief is, if it's a private school, no. No, my money shouldn't be going for you to teach kids that the earth is flat and the Big Bang doesn't exist and dinosaurs never walked the earth. Time started when Jesus was born. No.
At the Church of Cat, you would know the earth is not flat because they're assholes and they knock everything off.
I get a yes. I get that there's already many that are moving forward, trying to get some sort of a solution or resolution to that, or an agreement with that theory, or also money and funding is moving forward towards something like that. So I get a yes.
I'd just like to jump in for a sociological moment.
Yes, please. Educate us. Take us to school.
If you dumb down a country systematically like that, what happens is you don't have a capable workforce. The country starts to wind down and get poorer and poorer. So there's less money to buy your capitalist goods. So it's fundamentally stupid. Right?
It's regressive.
Then the second prong, which is already happening everywhere, because all the young people say, I don't like maths, I don't do maths. Well, that's why every well-paid high-tech job goes to immigrant workers. We have to, the thing of, how to come into Australia, the most desired workers at high level, and I'm sure it's the same in the States, because we're not teaching the maths and science well enough to hold our own. We need immigration. Then, and I'll shut up after this, we're all in a bell curve. It's an aging population in the US, everything else. We need immigrants in Australia and the US and everywhere to keep the money flowing. So if they do this, they're arguing against themselves, because they're going to need high-end immigrants, low-end, low-skilled immigrants and everyone else to keep the coffers flowing. It's so stupid.
It's absolutely
stupid.
stupid.
I don't realize any of it,
But hey, who cares about the long-term consequences so long?
Oh, no, let's talk about tomorrow.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Johnie?
I said amen. Destabilize your country. I mean, you want to be the most powerful country on earth. I mean, it can last 3-4 minutes. I mean,
that's right. It's just an experiment in human history, and people will be learning. America used to be innovative and bright and at the cutting edge, and now not so much.
All these right-wing maggots, along with their orange fearless leader, Mango Mussolini over there, could not pass the test, the regular civics test that is given to immigrants.
Every immigrant, that's right. Same in Australia. I used to give the test to my students. Fail, 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 fail.
Yep.
They should make everybody take it that's going to run for Congress.
Seriously, because we wouldn't have Boebert or that other idiot,
that's right.
Monistat, Trader Gangrene.
And we would have proof that they understand the Constitution, that they're just, mouthing off.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving along, Lindsey Graham, the judge just announced that, oh, by the way, Lady G, shut your mouth. You have to go speak to the grand jury. He ordered him that he has to go speak to the Georgia grand jury for Fani Willis. So how's that going to go?
I thought I heard that he's now taking it to a South Carolina court to try to fight it.
Yeah, he's going to tout it around the country, and he's going to lose.
Yeah, because it was a Georgia judge that said, no, you have to come testify. So now he's taking it to a South Carolina.
The crime was committed in Georgia. So why would he take it to South Carolina?
Because he's a citizen.
And they're going to say, when it gets there, why are you taking it to us? Duh.
Maybe he's hoping to curry favor with the judge in South Carolina.
He's stalling, and anything you can do, because you commit a crime. Do you really want to testify? No, you're going to throw up anything you possibly can.
The thing is, we're speculating that he won't even be going as a target. He's going as a witness. That's the speculation, because I don't think he received a target letter from Fani Willis. She sent out a target letter last week. I don't think he was one of them.
But it tells you, he does not want to go against Trump. He doesn't want to, be like some people are in the January 6th hearings where they're turning against him and telling the truth.
And
he doesn't want to be on record turning.
Absolutely. And it just puts it off 8 weeks or something. They're so short-sighted. Can I go? I've got Fabby cards. This is the 5 of Pentacles out in the cup. He's going to be crippled by this nonsense and stuff going forward. When he gets there, he's going to go up in flames, right? This is the dog in the flames, and then the 10 of Swords. What could be more perfect, really? So, what? Look, I'm just going for a coffee.
Mm-mm-mm.
Lindsey Graham.
The lenience that these lawmakers have is incredible. Because if it was any single one of us in this room or in this chat that were like, yeah, I'm not going to show up, screw your subpoena, screw your orders, we'd be in jail faster than we can sneeze.
He's trying to hold everything close to his chest, but naive as he is, surprise, time's up. So any judge is going to block him from his stalling tactics. Give it time. He will have to testify. He will have to talk. He will be trapped. And I think ultimately he'll betray Trump.
I got that 10 of swords too.
Ooh.
There is the 8 of cups and the fool. So you're going to have to take this journey. I don't know if he has to go there physically, but you can do a Skype thing or whatever. But there is some sort of travel for something, though, and it has something to do with your alliances. The 2 of cups, the fool, possibly that person, and your word of warning is the lovers too. So the company you keep, whoever you were in league with, they're going to cause you a lot more issue. This is actually this is the start. I kind of hate to say that because we've been saying that since 1915. This is just the start. There's more to come. 5 of cups, the magician, 9 of pentacles. There's a lack of security you don't have too. So something is failing you. I don't know if you're going to have to give up records or give up. You may not be a target now, but you will be. Because there's something you lose, and it's something that you think is secure or at least under security, like PIN numbers or passwords or something like that. Your only solace right now is you do have a lot of things that you can smoke screen with, but you are under pressure, under strain. 9 of wands. So this is going to compound. I can't help but compound. I mean, everybody got in trouble but him so far. So you're next.
I get the naive man is going to fight it, argue it, fight it, but ultimately, yes, he's going to have to go in and cough, which is ridiculous. He was a JAG officer. I think he was Air Force. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure he was Air Force. You know, but he's hiding behind his political elite privilege, really, at this point. So do you want to wait for Lena to get back? I know she's getting coffee. Or did you want to continue?
You can pick up when we come back. What you get?
Oh, okay. I already went.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm
back.
waiting.
Sorry, I had to put more coffee on. My flatmate had drunk it. So I've got to go in 5 minutes and turn it off.
No, coffee all the way.
So, mate.
Secret Service. Where do we even start here? Where do we even start? That is a whole can of worms. I don't even know where to start with Secret Service.
I know where to start. Look, I'm sorry, but Trump was still in power on January 6th, right? But as soon as Biden got in, why weren't they all commissioned, all that information commissioned the day after the inauguration? Why is it a year and a half later that they're asking for them? I don't understand that. I assume they'd have all that. Secret Service, major balls up on the day. It should have been the first thing they sequestered, or whatever the word is.
You have something as big as an insurrection, and you're going to allow those files to be, those particular days to be deleted.
For a year and a half.
Yeah.
Oops, we were moving to a new server. We kind of lost everything. Oh, sorry.
From January 6th. Sorry, we can't help you out.
But frankly, I don't blame them because no one asked for so long. I mean, I think this is a big, big boo-boo by the Dems and then the foul people they're dealing with. But
I think the Secret Service needs to be cleaned out top to bottom, straight up.
Look, all of it.
There's too many plants in there and stuff. And we were talking beforehand about, the fact that Biden wouldn't accept the Secret Service Trump assigned to him, so he asked for the ones he had before.
Yeah, sure.
I want to know.
Hell, Mike
because
Pence wouldn't get in the car with them. Mike Pence
Yeah,
wouldn't
Mike
get in
Pence
the
wouldn't
car.
get in the car. We know Trump was sending people to attack Mike Pence. Was he planning on taking Biden out?
I don't want to go there. You guys can
No.
rule on that. I'll put this one out. Go ahead.
Yeah.
No, I won't.
What about,
I won't be there.
will there be whistleblowers from the Secret Service who will say X, Y, and Z as testimony if they've lost them? What about that? Yeah. Will there be whistleblowers? Yeah. Whistleblowers.
They've already had whistleblowers that have said, yes, there was something going on in the car when he wanted to go to the Capitol. So they've already had some. And they also had a DC police that saw the incident in the car when Trump supposedly grabbed the steering wheel.
I mean, but when you think about it, the more information that we're getting, the expanse of all the institutions that Donald Trump corrupted is insane. It is insane. I mean, no institution is perfect, but when you have people that are career people in these institutions and how so easily some of these people were swayed.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I get a yes. The imbalance that Trump was causing and everything, that's my whistleblower card. I get a yes, and that somebody's got something tangible that will be presented. I'll be right back, guys.
Two things. What about you, Johnny? I
get no. I get no. There is, as far as whistleblowing goes, I get the Four of Pentacles and the Moon. So they're holding on. There is something there, but it's been hidden on purpose type of thing. However, with the Wheel of Fortune, Six of Pentacles, and the Three of Pentacles, it's going to come out, but it lies within a technology somewhere. And so it's not something they're giving up voluntarily. It's something that's going to be seized, possibly. Or even leaked. But as far as like somebody coming to speak, I get no.
I'm struggling to read this. I've got two kings. I've got the King of Wands and the King of Swords. So, followed by the Devil. So it's like, I think these are two senior people in the Secret Service here are trying to decide whether to speak up or not. And then I get them floating away. So it's maybe a no, like Johnny said then, or it could be a leak. A leak is a drip, there's water. But yeah. So that's a bit disappointing, isn't it? But maybe we're wrong, and sometimes it's good to be wrong.
Somebody could always have a change of conscience.
Yeah. What did you get, Becca?
I get that the institution itself has a lot of problems, like a lot of problems. Like, this is not good. But then there's something here that it's kind of like the institution is fucked, basically, if I can put it nicely. But there's something here where they're just trying to, I don't want to say spin it, but they're trying to be honorable, or they're trying to present as honorable. Am I making any sense? But it's saying that the institution itself is fucked. The question was, will there be a whistleblower? Maybe not exactly a whistleblower, but something does come out to light on how screwed up this institution itself is, top to bottom, organizationally, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So,
see, this is the thing about Trump that was virtually unique about Trump, is he appeals to working class guys, right? So you had a lot of guys who were in these various institutions, not just the Secret Service, but all the, you know, on the ground stuff, who were really quite sympathetic to. Normally, these guys wouldn't care if the Dems are in or the Republicans or whatever. You know, that's not their world. But Trump appeals to these guys, so he could do that. And then he could put in his McPillow people as well in huge positions. So between those two things, these institutions have just been totally corrupted.
And it's like, I get that, but what I don't understand is anybody that has gray matter between their ears knows that this man has spent his entire life ripping people off, not paying them, tying them up in court for decades so he doesn't have to pay them.
Yeah.
He is not the friend of the working class, period.
No, but they don't hear that, they don't know that, and they don't believe that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the problem. You can't actually, you know, push back.
Because when I heard of Donald Trump, like people in the chat smartened me up to it. And I thought, you know, he's the rich real estate guy. And they told me in the chat, that's what NBC put out there because he was the Apprentice person. So he's a character. That person I thought he was is not who he. Now, mind you, I never trusted him, but enough to like go vote for him.
But you still thought he was
I
a
thought that's who he
successful
was.
businessman, right?
Yes. I didn't know about the Taj Mahal and the Trump steaks and the airline and all that.
Yeah.
When I look into all that, I don't know who he is. And then he comes out and he spews the rhetoric they all want to say out loud. So they love oh, I don't like Mexicans either. I like him. So he's that person. And so once he came out with it,
what a great idea. You know, between us and them. You know, like,
we're going to build a wall and make them pay for it.
Yeah. And nobody ever stopped to question, how are you going to force another country to pay for something you want?
But Johnny,
and number two, why don't you force them to pay for our health care then?
Yeah, that's right.
Not just any wall, a wall that you can see through.
Oh, yeah.
A chain link fence. We're going to
Meanwhile, if you crawl under it, you can crawl over it and you can fly over it. Wall
and when the slightest wind came, the wall fell down. Fucking idiot. Fucking idiot.
And all those rock climbers too, who they put out a challenge to rock climbers and they all got up and over it, you know.
What a
I mean, when every contractor who goes in front of Home Depot to find his workers, you know who you are, would have told you if anybody can get over or tear down or find a way to get past a wall, it is a Mexican. So ain't nothing you can do that they can't build better than you.
He's so stupid. So stupid. You know, now that I think about it, anyways, can we look into what was in the text messages that they deleted?
Oh yeah. Good idea.
I know nothing about this story, so let's
text messages. Huh. Curious. Well, I've got mine, but I've just got to check the copy.
Ooh, I want some. Sorry, I pulled a double line of 5. I'm trying to get my life together here, Johnny.
I have no idea about this story. I don't know anything about the Secret Service deleted text messages.
That's what they're saying.
Okay, so I get the Ten of Pentacles and the Empress. There is something to do with something that was being birthed or born or created by a committee or a group of like-minded people, because the Ten of Pentacles is like your family heritage and your lineage. So it would be like Trump and Giuliani and the what you call it in the woods, Sidney Powell, all of those people type of thing. Not necessarily them, but it's something like that. These group of people, powerful, influential, were creating something. The Knight of Cups and the Moon, there's also a secret meeting of some sort that I guess you would know about since you had to be there. Then there's the Ace of Cups and the Ten of Swords. There's also the disappearing of a person here too. Who, I don't know, but there's something here about the disposal or the disappearing of the Ace of Cups.
Well, will I go?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. We have the Knight of Swords and the King of Swords here. So the Knight of Swords being, some of the texts I think were gung-ho, we're active, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, secret text for the king, Yes, it's secret, but at the time, I think they were so under his spell that it was almost considered normal,
Mm-hmm.
My new favorite card for the Republicans, doing this to keep the Republicans in power. But I also got, there could be some risk with this Ace of Wands with the actual content of the text. There's could be things like some guy going about the actual hierarchy of the Secret Service, just saying, oh, this guy is a clown or this guy is no good or something. I think there was actual, what do you call it when, subordination or insubordination.
Insubordinate.
Yeah, people higher up. Things like that, I think, are in it too.
Jenny, we're reading on what was on the messages that were deleted by the Secret Service. I don't know if you want to pull on it or not.
No, that's okay. I'll wait for the next question.
Okay. So I pulled a double line of 5, and on the top I got the mountain, the book, the garden, crossroads, and fox. Second line I got the housewoman, child, storks, and ships. So across the top there was knowledge of some sort of obstruction. Several rallies and fraudulent election. Bottom row, there's a woman in the house or a family woman. It could be a woman in the house. Something here about new changes in a transition, also new changes in a mode of travel, routes. Okay. Obstruction in the house. There's a woman that had knowledge of it, a party or a big group, like a rally full of little people. If I'm making sense, I don't know if that's in reference to the peanut butter people. Overturning the election with crossroads and storks, and then something fraudulent or sneaky or shady about the transition, but also quite possibly on a route somewhere or with travel, if I'm making any sense. Obstruction by little people, and they were being very sneaky. So the strategy perhaps of the little people and areas that they had scoped out, members of a party that are in the house, 2 women involved, actually 1, 2, 3, I see 3 here, 3. The woman, crossroads being the queen of diamonds, and then storks being the queen of hearts. So there's 3 women. So I don't know who that's in reference to. and a woman that was making choices, or two women that were quite prominent in the strategy of overturning the election and manipulating the transition, but also something shady about the routes that were going to be traveled. Let me see here.
Sidney Powell, maybe one of the women.
I'm not sure. I mean, I can see three very clearly with the woman, the crossroads, and the storks. So I don't know who's who. One of them could be in the house because she's got house sitting right next to her. I don't know if it's Sidney Powell. I don't know if it's Lauren Boebert. I don't know if it's Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't know if it's Ginny Thomas. I have no idea. I can see three very clearly. Delaying the transition, but eventually that delay doesn't work. It moves. And then let me see here. Enemies or delays in the house, a group of little people, and then manipulating the transition or doing something shady around how something is transferred. A woman that has knowledge, or she has secrets, she knows what's going on, and then overturning the elections. So from the look of this, just from this double line of 5, just picking at it, it looks like there may have been members within the Secret Service, perhaps people that may have been driving vehicles, because this has to do with transportation. Transportation to the rally, transportation to an outdoor area where there's a large body of people that has little people here. It looks like they may have known and were part of the strategy about everything that was going on that day. So who was going to be at the rally, what the plan was to overturn the election, who the players were to overturn the election. So that's what it's looking like. I could be wrong, but that was the double line of 5. So
yeah, because there must have been interaction inside and outside of the Secret Service to pull this off.
Yep. I mean, Pence had to have known something, because he was like, I'm not getting in that car.
Right.
Because maybe the plan was to whisk him away so that the other guy could come in and overturn the election. Because this right here says overturning. If this is the election, this is changing it and overturning it.
The Pence not getting in the car story says so much, and it's even less excusable for him not to testify. Are they going to make him testify?
He's such a coward. He's such a damn coward.
It's pathetic. It's pathetic now. And does he seriously think? Did anyone see Glenn Kirshner on Pence? It was 2 or 3 days ago. And he was saying, Glenn Kirshner, he said, I used to use the term man up and go ahead and testify. And he said, now, after so many brave women, including Ambassador Yovanovitch and all the Cassidy Hutchinson, he's now using woman up. And so he says to Pence, if you're out there, time to woman up and give testimony, because no one's going to vote for you if you're not doing it because you think you can make a run for president. You're sorely mistaken. So time to woman up. Hell,
he was he governor in Indiana? Nobody liked him there. What the hell makes you think you're going to run the country?
I know. Look, I don't know how many immediate relatives he's got, but outside them, no one's going to vote for Mike Pence.
No, just that fly on his head. That's about it. I don't know what other parties.
They can save their party, because he does appeal to white Christians. If they can save their party and turn it around, he would be the perfect candidate, because he's George Bush ×2. So, or revisit it, I should say, because he's white Christian, married, straight, all that type of stuff. So
really,
I don't know about straight, Johnny.
That's the story I'm putting out there.
Right.
I've already
I can sort of see that a few years ago or something now, but it's like he's tarnished by Trump. He was close enough, but not, it's just too messy now.
He was tarnished by Trump, but he's not extreme enough, I think. win the
Yeah.
party.
The thing that, like you say, the things that would have been his qualities normally, yeah, maybe he's just not radical enough. Yeah.
What
I don't
do you guys
know.
have any other questions around the Secret Service that you want to look at, or are we done with that, or can anybody else think of anything? I know Jenny wanted to do a deeper dive, but I'm not sure.
I'd like to know if they'll get cleared out of the Secret Service, these Trumpsters.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is the thing with all these departments, isn't it? You have people who have 15, 20 years experience, and Trump sacked them all at the beginning to make way for his people.
Well, they
So
report
the
to the
Dems
Department
really
of
should
Homeland
be.
Security. So, Trump even put people in Department of Homeland Security. So it goes, there's so many tentacles of everybody they got to get out of the way.
Bad people. Sorry, what was the question?
Will the Department of Homeland Security, will they get these Trumpsters out of the Secret Service?
I just saw in the chat somebody said that they have to give the deleted messages to this committee by Tuesday.
Oh, good-o.
Yeah, what's his name? The Republican guy on there, Kinzinger, I think it is. He said that they're expecting to have it by Tuesday. Is what the last thing I saw.
Now that I think about it, on the earlier reading, I got Tower Clouds Moon. On the reading of would there be a whistleblower, and I had said that institution is a lot of trouble. Well, considering that the Lennies can be quite literal, it could literally mean that the institution has the documents already in the cloud. If that makes any sense.
Because it's virtually impossible to delete things.
Yeah.
Which brings up the thing, the trusty old paper shredder was actually at least the final call.
Eating it, paper shredder, flushing it down the toilet. Just put some stuff on that paperwork and just
Eating it.
I can't believe that idiot ate all that paperwork. He's like a goat. I swear.
Okay. How are we going?
Wow, I'm getting some major reform. What are you getting, Lena?
Oh, good. No, you go.
Trumpsters on the bottom here. After America sees the messages, I get there will be an action taken on this to protect the Secret Service. I get a lot ousted, a lot of sneaky people ousted or forced to retire, a lot of changes, a lot of reform. There may be some old timers that kind of cling on a little bit, but I get they're gonna watch them like crazy. So I'm getting major reform somehow with the Secret Service.
Yeah, well,
yeah,
I got that too. I've got the Queen of Pentacles, which in this case could be Cheney, right? Now, here's the Secret Service. They look like cartoon characters here. The Tower, so it has to be like root and branch. They can't piddle around and replace 2 people here and 3 people there, right? It's got to be torn apart to see where the fox is in this story, right? Because they're potentially still dangerous. That's the point with all these swords and the fox.
Plus, they protect our former presidents,
Exactement. And then this is the sword with the snake, this is like the doctor's oath, the Hippocratic oath thing going on here. So with the Tower followed by that, I agree with Jenn then. I think that it'll have to be total. And although all the departments need a clean out, this is their own literal protection, life and death. So I think they'll be a little bit motivated.
Yeah. Well, I hope they do it soon because last I checked, that Louis DeJoy is still sitting at the U.S. Post Office, still wreaking havoc, even though they put that commission up that can literally oust him next week if they wanted to. And he's still there.
No,
He's
yeah.
still there. So, what'd you get, Johnie?
No-ish. There is the judgment card, which has the devil and the angel on it, which I thought was funny.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people currently under suspicion, is what I get, with the Seven of Swords and the Nine of Swords. So it still could happen, but I don't have an action following this, but it still can happen. This is closer to yes than no, though, because there's a lot of people under suspicion. They wouldn't be under suspicion if you didn't think they were doing something. And then, so if you think they're doing something, they do need to be removed. But that's just me adding commentary at that point. But you do get under suspicion.
That's weird though, because like what that does to the morale, you know.
Because this is a specialized job. This is not,
Yeah, and you have to be prepared to take a bullet for the president, literally, and all of that. It's not everyone's cup of tea.
I get that there's trouble at the institution, but there's a little bit of luck here too. So maybe not completely cleaning house, but some polishing up a turd, really.
Mm.
So I have a question. Is the IG investigating the Secret Service, the Inspector General?
Yeah.
Is it?
Can we see what the outcome of that investigation will be?
I think they've already lost a lot of time. You know, these guys have now had more than a year to consolidate their ranks. That's a good question. DeJoy better be out before the next election. I can go if you want, Becca.
You go right ahead. She's muted. She can't hear.
This is, I think, meant to be like a version of the Statue of Liberty in relation to this. How will it go? This is, trying to get to the bottom. What side are you on is a basic question they need to be asking and, paying attention. They're going to try and mold it in a slightly different direction. They might, I don't know, have a different aspect to training or to the interview process, whether you get hired, like looking at your Facebook posts for the last 10 years. They might already do that. I'm sure they do. But you know what I mean? Another look at people's real behavior, their real feelings. But they've got to start again. This is watering, the garden. It's, they need a new generation in there. It's very, very, very irky in there by the look of these cards.
Yeah, I'm getting there's a lot of details they're having to go through, and the completion of this is a struggle because there's a lot of people lying and stuff. So they're charging in with the investigation, but I do get that there are some that are going to end up going to court that were bullies for Trump in causing some sort of imbalance in the Secret Service. But there's some other things that are still hidden. They don't know about of who was working with who and under what orders and stuff. So it's going to lead to an abundance of more investigations through the government's what I'm getting. So I don't know. It's going to take some time, that's for sure.
Again, there's two guys that will be in some sort of, I want to say trouble because it always, anyway. Two people. There's two people here. There's secret meetings that pops up again, but then made between those two people or those two people and a person on the outside. There was also a compromise in the security. Maybe they weren't where they were supposed to be, and or were somewhere they weren't supposed to be. I don't know. There's something there about the actual security itself that is going to be called into question. And those two people also have some technology that is not on their side that has something to do with their secret meetings there. So there's two guys there.
That's funny that you say that, because I could have sworn that Trump installed two of his favorite loyalists to the Secret Service or promoted them in some way. Am I making that up in my head?
No, that's what Hutchinson testified to, Cassidy.
Oh, good God.
Oh, really? That
What
he
she
promoted.
testified to the altercation in the vehicle and stuff, like when he tried to grab the steering wheel and stuff. And those two were the ones that were called out, that were telling that she heard the story from.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because one of them disputing this. We're not disputing the story. One of them said that there was details that she got wrong or left out or something like that.
Yes, and then
a few more came forward and backed it up. So she came out of that okay, considering it looked,
Ornato or whatever his name was.
If you guys want to dispute it, do it under oath. Otherwise,
yeah.
So I got the clover, the bear, the storks, the dog, and the fish. So there's going to be a chance here to change people in positions of power. Those that are in authority, there might be some changes at the top level, perhaps supervisors or managers, and changes for people that can be relied upon to be independent. So not lackeys and bootlickers. Because this is reliability, and then here's your independence. So there's an opportunity here to change and become a bit more independent consulting, if that makes sense. So the way that it's supposed to be a non-politicized partisan institution. Your job is to protect the president and other people, not, well, I don't like him, so I'm just going to go take a nap knowing somebody's going to shoot him in the head tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like, so there's that. So I think we're done with the Secret Service.
I'm worried now about the post office. Just a couple of comments here. One woman, because things were so delayed in the post office, her payment for something was late and she lost 45 credit score points. And another one saying US postal carrier friend worker is forced to do overtime of 70 to 80 hours a week because of crap management and mass retirements. I'm really worried about the postal service in November. Why haven't they? Because even if they got someone next Wednesday, they've got to get up to speed.
Or at least have somebody that doesn't hide boots. Or delay them.
I'll save my commentary for the after show on that one, Lena.
Okay.
It'll be appreciated.
Okay, we'll move along.
So Elon Musk, that piece of shit, backed out of buying Twitter. And now there's all this stuff that people are saying that he should be investigated for messing with stocks and stuff, because he's done it all the time. Like he'll go out there and use his platform to just say something knowing that it'll raise the stock value on stuff, and then so
and Twitter is suing him for $44 billion now.
Yes. So I want to know if he's going to pay the full amount to Twitter. I mean, I don't think so, but we'll see.
Twitter.
Oh, and in other drama, Donald Trump is going after Elon Musk now, calling him a loser.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What's happening there?
In other drama, Elon Musk's dad just had a baby with his stepdaughter.
Nice.
Yeah, nice family. Pull the Woody Allen. If I could be petty for a moment.
Oh, please, by all means.
I got some big cards. I'll be back in a moment.
What's the question?
Well, Elon had to pay money to Twitter.
I remember.
The full amount, which is how many billions?
Like 44 billion, wasn't it?
44 billion.
Speaking of billion, there's 7 billion people on Earth. You can't go have a baby with somebody who ain't your
Your stepdaughter that you raised since she was 4 years old and then married her later and had a baby with her.
That's just gross.
And she's like half his age. She's like, Elon's stepsister and closer to Elon's, younger
So
than
now
Elon.
Elon's stepsister is his stepmom. That's some Jerry Springer shit right there, dude. Like that's just I mean, that goes to show you that no amount of money can make you a decent person.
And his niece will now be his stepsister.
Yeah.
What the heck is going on in this world, Jesus?
I mean, you mean to tell me you couldn't go on, you're a billionaire. You could
But
like
patriarchy, patriarchy. Men can do what they want under any guise.
His stepsister is now his stepmom, and his niece is now his stepsister. That's just
Don't.
Jerry Springer. Where are you? Where are you, Jerry Springer?
I don't know what I'm getting because I'm getting he's out in the cold on the bottom, but I'm getting money through the courts that he will have to pay. They'll have victory over him. I get he's going to lose, but then there's all this crap going on. I think he's going to end up paying less. So maybe through appeals courts or something. I don't know what it is. It's going to be a big old mess.
And I'm here for it. I am so
Just like his
for it.
family.
He's such a disgusting human being.
Oh, yucky poo. Oh, okay. I got the Fool. Because to a large extent, my vibe on Elon Musk generally is he's peaked and he's coming down the other side in terms of public opinion. You know what I mean? Everyone used to think, oh, the genius, the this, the that. 10 of Swords isn't looking marvelous for him, right? You'd have to say. But I get the Hangman, which is not much, not now. I don't think it'll be the full amount and it'll dribble on. But it does have the World card here too. Everyone is looking at this case symbolically. These guys behaving badly. I think people are getting a bit sick of it and playing with people. So people get attached to platforms. I'm not a Twitter user, but my friends who are, that's their go-to, And then to have it just tossed around, I might buy it. No, I won't. I'll just ruin it because I can. I'll break your toys. I think people are getting a bit sick of that.
Yeah.
I hope. It's just
I would hope so. And I never got the whole thing that he's this genius. I'm like, no, he's not. He didn't invent the Tesla. Engineers invented the Tesla.
Oh, hello. Yes, exactly. And these are the guys who take all this public money. He gets huge subsidies for experimenting with batteries and stuff.
And then fixes with it when he's done. Yeah, and people fall to his feet now. He's a piece of shit. He's a piece of shit.
No, he's a bad
What you get, Johnie?
I get justice. So yes, he will have to pay justice 9 of Cups. Not the entire thing though. The 2 of Pentacles is here in the end, so it's still some influx going on. However, for whatever reason, this is not over with the judgment though. With the Wheel of Fortune and the 2 of Wands, something else is happening here too. Or this brings some other kind of case or something. But his word of warning is the Wheel of Fortune, which means bad luck. So you got some kind of something, and somebody else is coming forth with something. And that's going to start a new case. It's going to be a burden. You're going to have to go lawyer up and all that type of stuff. So his problems are just starting too.
Yeah.
You were like to play with fire and you found out that it's hot and it burns and that hurts.
And also, these guys get away with a lot for decades and stuff. But once people sense they're a bit wounded, that's when the other creditors or the other people start coming in,
The vultures are circling.
Yeah.
When the vulture was small blood, I get no, he's not going to pay the full amount.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that means, but I don't get it. All of that just for an ego boost. So Trump has been dragging Elon Musk through the floor at his rallies, saying that he's a loser and a liar, and he told his people that Elon wasn't going to buy Twitter. And look at what happened. Elon didn't buy Twitter. He backed out of the deal because he's a loser. And I think he said he had his lawyers look at it and it was a good deal. It's like, no, you moron. He was way overpay on Twitter, like way overpay. Because, Elon Musk wanted to wave his 2-centimeter dick around, so sorry for the vulgarity, but
clarity.
I just want to know about that petty fight. But I don't know how to word it.
Because now Trump doesn't get his Twitter account back because Elon's not going to buy it.
Yeah.
And now Elon is backing DeSantis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there's that whole.
So I think he's pissed off because he doesn't get his Twitter back.
Sorry, Jen, I missed that.
I think he's pissed off because he won't get his Twitter account back.
Oh, that's the only reason he's interested at all.
Because Truth Social sucks,
Yeah.
Now, I've got this fantasy that Trump is going to really turn it on for DeSantis and try and destroy DeSantis. Do you think there's any legs in that?
Well, Trump just
DeSantis is a bigger threat than anything.
Oh, I would. Okay, I know everybody is speculating that Trump is going to announce his run for presidency.
Yeah.
And we always get that he's not going to run. We could be wrong, but we always get that he's not going to run. But I'm hoping and praying that he does announce it right before the midterm, so he tanks the freaking
absolutely. Absolutely.
Please.
And I think what most of us are saying is not so much that he won't nominate himself. That's how he's protecting himself, but he won't be there by 2024 as a contender. Yeah. So I don't want people thinking we're saying, oh, no, he's not going to run. Oh, he's sure as hell going to make a run for it.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's
the doom and gloom?
We don't have to read on. We could just chat about it. So Trump and DeSantis, right? So you'd have the GOP machine, the Mitch McConnells and those of the old guard would prefer DeSantis. Mm-hmm. But the public still has this weird relationship with Trump. So as they butt heads, will Trump be able to pull out anything that's actually wounds DeSantis? Okay. Is there anything in the past or anything? Can the Yeti, can he wound DeSantis? Yeah?
That's a good question.
DeSantis is already wrecking himself. I just saw the other day that there's thousands of teachers in Florida that are resigning because of all these bullshit laws. Don't say gay, don't do this, prayer, this. So there's a shortage of school teachers.
With Trump, he doesn't even have to say the truth about DeSantis. He can lie about him and ruin him.
Just do what you do best, Donald. Off you go.
Will he try to think about?
The problem with all the teachers resigning and stuff too, that experience goes out the door the same way we were talking about.
But hey, here's a good thing. Now you won't be expected to stand and teach a class, armed like you're about to go invade Iraq because Republicans refuse to do anything to stop school shootings. Mm-hmm. So, there's that. Mm.
Will he be able to wound DeSantis? Yes. Because of what y'all just said, all he has to do is go out and lie. High Priestess, 8 of Wands.
Yeah.
5 of Pentacles. All he has to do is make it up and say, DeSantis really is DeSatan, and he can use that as his little tagline, like he did. And they'll eat it right up. 7 of Cups. All he has to do is create doubt. That's all he has to do.
Yeah.
Reasonable doubt gets your defense every time.
Yeah. Can he affect votes? Hell yes. He can affect the votes, doing what he always does, running his mouth, his messaging, doing something as a surprise attack. It's not going to be true, what part of it, but yeah, he can change people's minds about him big time. Betrayal and strength behind it. Yep, and something sneaky. He's gonna gaslight.
Doing what he does best. And what I got all these juicy wands cards where everything's on fire, right?
Burn it all down.
So yes. And then I pulled a couple of the other ones, and I got the message of disgrace. So that'd be a yes too.
Oh. But they benefited from his gaslighting and garbage for 4 years. 6 years.
Yes.
And so they now have to be the victim of it. Go right ahead.
And DeSantis didn't have to follow like that. He could have just had his own conservative money-making agenda like they always did. But he went all out with the, book burning and stuff. Yeah.
I get a maybe. I get the dog, the crossroads, and the bear. These are all neutral cards. And what it's saying is that it splits the party this way. It'll split it. The loyalties split here. And then here's your bully or someone trying to gain power. So it just causes further division between the loyalists here.
Yeah.
But it's loyalists that want a strong man. So I think that if Trump tries to pull the authoritarian card with this card here, that his opponent can match him step for step. But it ends up splitting the party here.
Awesome.
So that's what I get.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Yeah. That's right.
Put him in a ring like WWF or
Front row seats. Mano el mano. Yeah, right.
So, will the Dems win more seats in the Senate?
Oh, God.
That's the next question.
Will the Dems pick up seats? Oh, please, God.
Have you all seen how Fetterman is trolling Oz? He got Snooki.
Snooki involved. Jersey Shore.
So
because you live here in Jersey, Dr. Oz, in your 10,000 square foot mega mansion.
I just saw in the comments from Just Kendra, I know a teacher with an MA from Harvard who left teaching because it's so hard to get into the union. There's a 3-year wait. I'm sorry, in the rest of the world, I don't understand that sentence. No, how hard is it for the union to press a button and go subscribe? We can do it.
Yeah.
What? It just means someone's going to pay the union their fees. What? A 3-year wait to get into a union.
That's insanity. I've never heard that before, ever.
That is crazy. It should take 26 seconds. I mean, really. Dems, what are you going to do?
I get yes, but it's going to take a lot of work. And there's going to be delays in the counting of the votes I'm getting, but I get a strong showing, and it's kind of a surprise, so to speak. But they'll have to return to the vote counting and stuff, and checking over everything again, looking at everything again. When it's all said and done, I get that they'll try to burden them. So it's going to go to the courts, I get, but we're still going to pick up seats.
Yeah. Mhm.
It's going to be a big, drawn-out mess. Like, we'll be lucky if we get everybody installed by January 3rd.
Yeah. For fuck's sake. Oh. Yeah. Will I go?
Yes, please.
Yeah, totally agree with Jen, and we shouldn't be surprised at all of this. The attempted theft, the Seven of Swords going on. It's going to be a very nervous wait, with this Five of Pentacles, even thinking, at the time, oh my God, no, can't be done. It looks too hard. The hill's too big, but sanity prevails. Justice. So I agree there'll be, legal challenges and crapola, coming through. But outcome, very nice, very beautiful. The heart will prevail, and it'd be a yes in the end. And ripples, I like the ripples that once the heart is in place, it can get bigger and better. Yeah.
From yours and Jenny's lips to God's ears, please, for the love of God.
All the gods.
Yeah, all the gods.
Yeah, don't listen to me because I get a no. So.
Someone's got to be the voice there.
Yeah, it's Nine of Swords. There's worry in the judgment. Something repeats. So you may have more. Yeah, I mean, it's possible. It's not a no because the judgment is, again, the recycling of something. So the garbage we did 2 years ago could just be coming back again with the whole split 50, have countdowns and all this type of,
Yeah, and then Dino's like cinema and what's his face and
we just need 2 more seats to
because my 2 or 4 fell out. So
he just killed Manchin just killed something for Biden.
Yes,
the EPA. Yeah,
there's a chance. There's a chance. So
they
okay,
need to just
one more
scream women's rights, scream it, and gun control on the AR-15s.
The women's rights, gun control, and also blast everything from the January 6th committee from wall to wall from now until election day, and let people know this is the party you cannot trust these people. Period.
Yeah. But also, you've got to still talk kitchen table stuff to people, and that involves, gas prices and things like that. So offer them a subsidy if that's what it takes. Leading into the election, we'll give you a $1,200 subsidy for fuel and stuff. Just go
and
for
keep
it.
in mind too, Democrats have all kind of fuel for this fire to make sure it's 100% Democrat. What we have to do out here is actually go out and vote, because there are 3 people in my life right now that are not voting at all. They didn't vote in the presidential election, and they definitely aren't going to vote. Thank you, Beatrice. Coming up in November, so they don't care because they feel it doesn't affect them. So they're not voting at all. So the Democrats, no matter how well you armed them with stuff to use for the election, and all 3 of these people are left-leaning people. So it's not like they're Republicans and I don't care. It's people who would be a benefit to. 2 of them are here for Fetterman or so forth and so forth. So
lost votes are lost Democratic votes by and large. Can we
meanwhile,
bribe
the people in the middle of the cornfield are going to vote? It's just
let's bribe them.
So I got one final question before we move on to the petty question. Steve Bannon is supposed to go to court tomorrow, right? Yeah. Is it tomorrow or next week?
Monday your time.
So, and he's going to court for his contempt of Congress. Is that the case he's going for tomorrow?
Well, unless his ex-wife falls down the stairs, yes.
So can we see how the outcome of his court case? When is the next January 6th hearing? Also, is it this week? Coming up?
The 23rd, Thursday. I think it's Thursday. Or is it Thursday this week? I can't remember.
I don't know.
I've forgotten.
People, can you tell us in the chat, please?
So,
This
so
is,
how
I
will
hope,
this court case go tomorrow?
Because I did get 2 weeks ago or last week when we were reading on him that he would not testify to Congress till after his court case.
Yeah.
I think they're going to let him go to jail and sit there before they talk to him.
Yeah.
Good.
Does anyone know what form this sort of looks like? Is it a one-day trial thing or is it 6 weeks? What happens?
Well,
I can't
Since
remember.
his lawyer had to quit being his lawyer because now he's called as a witness, God knows how long it'll take.
Yes, Banner.
So, how's this contempt of Congress? Because whether he testifies or not, he was still in contempt of Congress.
Yes.
that's what I hate, is that he gets to delay and abscond with all these side things. Like
Yeah.
contempt of Congress, that's not what should be about. You should be in the January 6th commission testifying, so forth and so forth. But now we have to supersede. We have to now do something else
Yeah.
and go through all this court case, which you can tie up forever sometimes.
Yeah.
And then it may be another thing and another thing. And then he still has not yet testified.
Mm.
And I get the Knight of Swords and the Ace of Cups. There is something here. It's happening very fast. So I don't know if this is going to be a long drawn out thing or if he's getting like, lawyers.com and he's getting a new person in his life to help him. Because there is a, thank you, Asia. I don't know what this is. There's like a person he's hired or hiring that's like new. This is just happening though. So I don't know if he's getting a new lawyer or a new PR or new something. Somebody's on his side right now. His word of warning is the Three of Cups, though. The committee is still coming for you. They have not forgotten. So they have put a pin in that mark. So it's still there. It ends in the Three of Swords. So he's got some losses coming, not just from this trial, but from something else going towards the future too.
Thank you, Green Nightingale. He's gonna have a loss also in that build a wall fraud grift that he did. That's what I'm getting because he's like getting taken out. It's what I'm getting because time is up. There's a new start to all of this. It's over. He's going to lose this case, and then they're going to work on all the details on his grift, and he's going to lose that one too. And there's another money case going to come up on him, so watch for that. There's something else coming up that we haven't heard.
Funny you should say that. So here we have the Queen of Swords. So it could either be a female, judge or magistrate or something, or it can be Lady Justice. The point is, it's the court. There's confusion about his case on some level. I'm not sure what the confusion is. It looked pretty straightforward to me, but there is some element that isn't quite clear. He's going to want to speak. Which is funny in itself, right? And he's going to breathe fire like the dragon here. This is fun. And then this is the killer. There is something about money. Look at this. Money in his eyes, in his beard, in his hair. Look,
I mean, that looks like his face with all them spots on it. So yeah, that looks good.
So there's going to be something else with money hot on the heels of this case. So there's still some confusion here. It will be sorted out. Then he'll probably, fight it. But I think, too, another legal case around spending other people's money, love.
Like at the sun, the stars, the clouds, mice, and crossroads. He might be pretty optimistic that he can get out of this, but then nope. You're out of choices and options. It's just one bad thing leads to another bad thing that leads to another bad thing that leads to another bad thing. It's just problems everywhere he looks. So I don't think this is going to go well for him, but it ends with crossroads. So this is an action card. So it means that it's almost like opening up a can of worms. Like it's just a series of bad events. What gets discovered just keeps leading to more and more and more. But it opens up a new pathway for something else. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's almost like there's still a road to travel with all the problems that he has. So I don't think it goes well for him. I don't think he's getting out of it.
But I don't know about you guys, but I don't even want to hear what he's got to say anymore. You know, those days ago, this time last year, I would have been riveted. Now I don't actually give a flying toss what he's got to say.
I do. I wish that I want to know if the court case is live or whatever, because he's such a pompous asshole on his talk show and whenever he has an audience. And I would love to see him try to pull that shit on a judge and just get like smacked.
But here's the thing. They've been, he and the others have been able to waltz around spreading this stuff. Remember the judge who put a gag order on Stone? Right?
Yes.
Early on. Trying to intimidate a witness. Gag these guys. Right? Because there's an argument that he's spreading seditious stuff actively every time he switches that microphone on. We're not just talking leaning to the right. We're saying armed uprising. So why isn't he gagged? And until he is, I've got no time for the judiciary.
It's really funny because he's not married. You know, he's his house got swatted in DC last weekend. There were a bunch of people in his house, but he wasn't there when it was swatted. He found out and he thanked the police for checking, on it. Like he was being very
his
polite.
lawyer thanked the police before he would resign.
Yeah, but like, who are all these people staying in your house in DC? It's probably peanut butter boys and oath creepers and crap.
Oh, absolutely.
And here's the thing. Remember when that judge gagged Roger Stone? So, you remember what he did? He put a picture of her on the internet, on Twitter, with one of those things that was like a target on her to the freaking judge. So even though he gagged her, he was like, fuck you. Fuck you. I'm not saying it. I'm just getting a picture.
But he couldn't speak. So do that with Bannon.
No, he found a way around it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's like they still find ways. Yeah. So, final question for the petty question of tonight. This one is coming from Jenny.
I want to know, because Trump has not learned his lessons in this lifetime, obviously, right? Or any lifetime, probably. I want to know, what's his next lifetime going to be like?
Oh. Well, that's another one of my fantasies, that he comes back as an Hispanic mother of 5 at the border. Trump's next lifetime. So we're accessing the Akashic records. Ooh.
Indeed, we are.
I'm going to use oracle cards for this.
Yeah, I needed another deck too. Oh! I just fell out. Oh, what an intriguing question.
What you getting, Lena?
Oh, look, it's probably just wishful thinking. But look, here he is. He's going to have a life that's not all that comfortable. So it begins with riches, comparative riches, you think it's all right. But there's a major health issue from young, like this looks like a virtual baby in there. He'll be imprisoned by the health issues until he dies. Sorry if we've crossed a line here, but I'm just saying that's what the cards say. That's all I'm saying.
So I'm here for it.
Maybe you can't afford health care.
I'm here for it.
I'm getting he's going to be quite impoverished by the end too. So I get it's a learning opportunity for him to learn about feminine energy. I get he's going to be burdened by his children who are stronger than him. So the opposite of what's going on now, where he burdens his kids. And I get he's coming back as a woman, and he is not going to be happy about it. It's like he's got to look to marry somebody wealthy to get anything going, and that's a problem. I also get he's going to have major problems in school, so probably like this lifetime, like he'll have a hard time learning. Devil on his shoulder.
He's going to come back as Melania.
Fast learner.
Be Delania. I get he is born and returns to the light very soon thereafter. So I don't think he gets to adolescence at all.
Well, it's funny that I got that too, young. It's like he needs an interim life to sort of learn a few things.
Maybe why the school card came up, like he has trouble with school.
Really interesting. What about
Maybe
you?
Picked on, bullied, possibly.
Oh, that'd make a change.
I got the Crossroads, the Snake, and the Mice. He's going to be a sewer rat. That's it.
So a repeat.
Instead of a man, he's going to be a rat hanging out in the sewers.
A snake and a rat.
Sewer rat. Not like the Teenage Ninja Turtles. No, just a nasty ass rat. So that's what we got. That's it.
That would be justice.
That would be justice. So that's all we got. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, everybody, for all of the super chats. Thank you, Lena, for hanging out with us tonight.
I had a great time.
Thank you to the moderators, and I hope to see you guys next Friday for the fundraiser for Planned Parenthood and the giveaway. So it'll be my first giveaway on the channel, so I hope to see you all there. I wish I could get more t-shirts, but I'm not a bazillionaire, so I'm sorry. If I could, I would give one to everybody.
And please join us even if you can't afford to donate. Support us at least by watching.
Yeah, at least by watching. And I will see you guys next week. Next week we will be on Johnny's channel for Sunday, Friday for the fundraiser, and we'll just keep an eye out for Aunt Lena, but she'll be joining us Friday as well.
Yeah.
Oh, and we'll need questions for Friday.
Yeah,
I'll good. So put them in in Johnny's community chat? Is that how it goes?
Yeah.
No, sorry, Friday in Laurie's or whose?
We'll all put one up, possibly. You can leave questions everywhere.
Yeah.
We'll group them together.
Lots of questions.
So I'll keep a lookout for that too on the community page for questions for Friday night's fundraiser. And it'll be 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 a.m. Australia time. And then it would be what, 5 o'clock your time, Jenny? Is it 5 or 6?
No, 6.
6 o'clock
Central
time. So we will see you guys then. Bye-bye.
Ciao.